What is cyberloafing? Alright, so let's get into the basics. Cyberloafing consists of two main parts. The first part in the term cyberloafing is the loafing part, which is extracted from the term loafer, which refers to a person who wastes his or her time. The second part of cyberloafing is the word cyber, which is a prefix for phases based on computer sciences in which computers are used as tools. There are multiple types of cyberloafing that can occur in the workplace, in schools, or any other place where work is being done. Alright, so now we can get to the background of cyberloafing. Cyberloafing is also known as gold bricking, which is an action that occurs when an employee uses the internet at work for personal reasons instead of doing legitimate work. Many companies try to prevent cyberloafing by implementing different browsing trackers, softwares, and strict internet use policies so that cyberloafing can be cut down on, and when employees are having their downtime in their work, that they're not surfing the browsers on the web and they're doing what they're supposed to do. Cyberloafing occurs when a short break to reset and refresh after a tough task turns into procrastination. In most cases, there is a fine line between cyberloafing to refresh your mind and when cyberloafing is used to escape a task because of its difficulty or duration. Okay, now we're going to get into our point, which is cyberloafing a bad thing? And whenever I ask that question, cyberloafing is often generally seen as a negative because of most companies. And whenever cyberloafing goes on, there's factors like loss in productivity, wasted time, and impacts in the workplace that happen in a negative way. Studies show that browsing the internet can cost organizations about $183 billion a year from damages in productivity, legal issues, and other associated costs. Studies also reveal that 97% of male participants and 85% of female participants believe that cyberloafing is acceptable in the workplace. Cyberloafing has its pros and cons, but we are here today to shine a light on the benefits of cyberloafing and how it can help you in your job.
All right, I'm going to talk to you about cyberloafing as a beneficial activity to organizations. So generally, cyberloafing gets a bad rap. Now, why is this? Well, cyberloafing is widely considered to be a counterproductive work activity as it uses up time that could otherwise be put towards doing more work. Also, web browsing outside the scope of work can lead employees to enter unsafe websites, which can cause them to bring malware into the network. Excessive use of the internet can cause network congestion, which affects the whole workplace's internet access. And employees who cyberloaf could be spending their time building meaningful work relationships with their colleagues. However, it's not all that bad. In reality, employees are bored and stressed at work, and cyberloafing can give them the short release they need to stay motivated and feel refreshed, which increases their productivity. Also, people are not machines, so they do need mental breaks in the workday to relax and regain energy, and taking a few minutes to cyberloaf to reduce stress will help employees avoid burnout. It also has some indirect benefits for both employees and employers. Workers who cyberloaf gather new ideas and information outside of their job duties. Employees can enjoy benefits such as a boost of creativity as they return from a cyberloafing session. Employers can appreciate the fresh perspectives employees gain from thinking outside of the job for a few moments. So if you let employees go off and browse the internet outside of the scope of their job, they can gain new ideas and bring that back to the workplace. Another indirect benefit is that it can actually lead to better productivity when it's used in moderation, like many things. Having a mental break allows employees to stay on top of their duties more efficiently. It also creates a less stressful work environment, which can lead to higher job satisfaction. There are a few ways in which organizations can mindfully manage cyberloafing, because you don't want your employees cyberloafing with abandon. Given the potential drawbacks of cyberloafing, managers should consider discussing a few guiding principles with their employees. The goal is not to eliminate cyberloafing altogether, but to educate employees on how they can cyberloaf without disrupting the organization. They can also make cyberloafing mutually beneficial between the organization and the individual. It's important to outline ways that you can avoid harmful websites so that you don't bring malware into the network. It's also important to ensure the company has an effective firewall, not just for cyberloafing reasons, but just in general as well. And organizations can educate employees on cybersecurity and teach them how to cyberloaf with discipline and moderation so they can maximize the benefits for both themselves and the organization.
Hi, my name is James Nwizu, and I am here to tell you how you can use cyberloafing to your advantage. All of this will be based off of research conducted in the cyberloafing in workplace gain or drain on workplace. One thing you should do is set time aside for cyberloafing. You should try to carve out time for your employees to be able to cyberloaf, like browse the internet, which is also in this research been associated with positive effects on employees in the workplace. So that's one thing to also keep in mind, so that they can stay productive throughout the day and not feel burnt out. Research done in the Behavior and Information Technology Journal, which is the same article I referenced in the beginning, found that cyberloafing can be advantageous as long as it does not exceed an hour and 15 minutes. But also in that same research, it also concluded that respondents on average spent around 51 minutes cyberloafing per day at work. Why set time aside? Too much cyberloafing can lead to real procrastination, which always will be a detriment to the production levels within an organization, as well as lead to task assignments building up. It's also noteworthy to mention that strategies to eliminate cyberloafing have instead led to cyberloafing increasing over the past years. What does this mean? It means that you should, as a company, instead of looking for ways to eliminate cyberloafing, you should look to maximize the advantages you get from cyberloafing. Some of those advantages have been shown in the research. Some of like cyberloafing can lead to many advantages that are overlooked due to perceived notions that cyberloafing is terrible and should be stopped and uh, and should be deterred at all costs. Things, some of the things in this research showed that 75% of respondents agreed that with the statement that cyberloafing helps make work more interesting, or that 57% reported that engaging in cyberloafing helped them deal with practical issues and personal issues. That's important to helping not only your employees stay engaged, but also helping organizations meet their bottom line and their mission statements. 49% also indicated that cyberloafing helped them deal with problems they encountered at work, and also 52% responded agree with the statement that cyberloafing makes them a better and more interesting worker. Cyberloafing has also showed to have correlations with improved emotional status with the employees. Well, what does that all mean? It means that cyberloafing has many advantages, not only for employees but also for the organization, who would greatly benefit from its employees' boost in motivation. Based on the research done, it also shows that many employees associate brief periods of cyberloafing with the ability to step away and clear their minds, allowing them to come back rejuvenized and ready to tackle problems.
All right, and now we're just going to wrap up the presentation. When employees cyberloaf, they are using the internet at work for personal purposes, which is an activity that most employees admit that they engage in. It can be beneficial in a workplace by giving employees the mental break that they need in order to be productive. And when used effectively as a tool, by setting time aside for it, cyberloafing can go from being a counterproductive activity to a productive one. This has been The Power of Three. Thank you so much.